Okay, boys and girls, here is a true budget entry-level AR-15. This is a DPMS Oracle A15. It is your basic entry-level offering from DPMS. It's a standard 16-inch carbine, 1-9 twist, 5.56 chamber. This rig, as you see right here, is about a $700 rig. That's including the Bushnell Trophy 1x28 red dot, which I'll talk about in a later video. A couple extra magazines, the sling setup, and the car handguards and the car rear stock. I put those on there because I like the profile of the old car handguards and stock, and I really dislike the Glacier handguards and a DPMS rear stock. I can't stand those things. Again, I'll talk about that in a different video as well. This video I'm trying to keep kind of short. But this rig is a $700 rig. It's not mil spec, and it's nowhere near the quality of a top tier AR-15, but they definitely work. If you can't afford anything better, don't hesitate to buy one of these. The key is just to inspect it. Inspect it before you buy it. Again, like I said, it's an entry-level offering from DPMS, 16-inch 1-9 twist. It's a standard profile. I should say it's more of a light profile barrel. As you can see, the barrel's not quite as thick as what you see on like an M4 profile carbine. It does have the A2 flash hider. You've got the railed gas block here, which is kind of a nice feature. I kind of like that. Typical flat top on your upper receiver, and everything else is pretty much standard AR-15. There's nothing really crazy about the design of this. The bolt, DPMS bolts are pretty decent. They're staked. There's no issues with that. Gas block seems good to go. Some things to check when you're looking at a DPMS rifle. Number one, make sure your bolt carrier is staked. If it's not a big deal. You can stake it yourself. Just get a punch and you can do a field staking on your bolt. But you always want to make sure that bolt carrier group, that gas pin, is staked on there. If it's not staked, get it staked. Another thing to look at is your trigger pins. Sometimes on DPMSs, I've heard of the trigger pins walking out just a little bit under a lot of usage. That's an easy fix. Just spend $10, $15, get an anti-walk pin, replace it, and then there you go. That's not an issue. Another thing to look at is your castle nut. These castle nuts, this one's on pretty good, but sometimes people encounter when they fire these guns, the castle nut isn't as tight as it should be. It's not staked or anything, so it'll back off a little bit. The remedy behind that, put some Loctite on that sucker, cinch it down, and it should stay. No issues there. Everything else on this rifle is pretty well made. DPMS, they're popular for a reason. A lot of people say DPMS is utter crap. Some of their rifles do have lemons. You tend to come across that when you're talking about a budget AR-15 brand, but not all their rifles are crap. This one, for all intents and purposes, it looks pretty good. I haven't fired it yet, so we'll see. We'll see what happens when I fire it. Some things I recommend to do is to put in one-piece gas ring, extractor upgrade kit, as always. Check the chamber, make sure your chamber's good, make sure your chamber is nice and smooth, doesn't have a lot of roughness in there. Some other things to look at, make sure your gas block is straight. It's kind of hard to mess up a gas block, but the gas block here on this AR-15, this DPMS, is cinched down by a couple screws right there. That's where it's cinched down. So you want to make sure there's always a chance when the gas block is put on that it could be canted just a little bit left or right. You can have the gas block canted and it will still fire. Sometimes it'll still fire. Sometimes, depending on how bad it is, it may not fire. You may have some issues. But you always want to check that look. If it seems a little bit canted, you may want to do it yourself, or you can take it to a gunsmith and they can fix that. I haven't really seen that on these rifles personally. The rifles that I've seen from DPMS, they seem to be well made. Not as well made as some other rifles out there. I think Olympic Arms, from what I've seen, they haven't beat a little bit as far as the quality of the barrel goes and such, and some of the minor details, but it's still a decent made rifle, especially for a $700 rig. You almost can't beat this unless you go out and build your own. You build your own, you can get a good $700 rig, especially if you go to places like Palmetto State Armory and piece some things together. But this DPMS is a good lightweight rig. It's excellent for self-defense, excellent for plinking, and I would carry this out if I was out hunting or hiking around Montana, if I needed a gun for coyotes or to keep mountain lions at bay or whatever. I wouldn't hesitate to carry this gun. A gun of this profile, it's easy to carry, easy to shoulder, easy to shoot. So there's just some basics on this rifle. I didn't go into the technicalities of this rifle. If you want me to go into the technicalities of the rifle, feel free to leave me some comments. And what I mean by technicalities, you want me to go into specs of the gun as far as how much it weighs and yada yada yada, all that good stuff. What steels, the type and grade of steels that are using this. If you want me to go into that, I certainly can. But there's a lot of videos out there that talk about it, so I don't want to get too long-winded. But anyway, DPMS Oracle, it's a good gun. Wheeler Win 21, he has one that he tricked out a little bit. So go to his channel. He can give you some feedback. There's some other folks around here. Just type in DPMS Oracle on the YouTube search pages, and you'll see a lot of different of the oracles out there. A lot of different reviews, good, bad, or indifferent. So thanks a lot for watching. If you have an oracle or a budget AR, feel free to post up a video or leave your comments, whether good or bad. And hope to hear a lot from you. Again, thanks.